What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So have a really good topic today. I feel like I say that every video, but really this is a good topic. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. We're going to be talking about training in my 20s versus training in my 30s. I am now 32 years old. I started training when I was, I think, 22. So I've been training for a while, and of course, when I first started, I don't count a lot of those years because I didn't know what I was doing. But I've been training for a good while now, and just wanted to talk about some of the differences from training when I was younger in my 20s to now being 32 because a lot has changed. Um, Even not just with my body, even with my mindset, my approach, a lot of things have shifted and changed. And I think for anybody who's worked out for a while, once you start reaching, your 30s, I'm pretty sure your 40s, things just change. So I want to talk about some of those things, and I think it'll be a good topic. And before I get into that, I want to know how old you are and how long you've been training. So leave me a comment down below and let me know. All right, so let's get into this. Hopefully y'all cannot hear that dog barking. It's an annoying dog barking, but hopefully y'all can't hear it because I have in this mic. But I got my notes right here just so I don't miss any points. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. But the first thing I want to talk about is I feel like in my 30s or just as I've gotten older, I need more rest days. So let me take y'all back a little bit. In my 20s, my early 20s, most of my 20s when I was training, especially in my early 20s, I was training sometimes 6 to 7 days a week. Sometimes I trained every single day, and that was weight training. Um, but even in my 20s too, I remember doing a mixture of, I did a lot of weight training, but I went through a period where I did a lot of cardio too, because at one point I was doing the training 6 to 7 days a week, and I was also running like 3, 4, 5 miles. I was doing that maybe like 3 to 4 times a week. So that's what I did in my early 20s. Once I started getting past like, or maybe around like 25 and up, I stopped doing all that cardio and I started getting more aches and stuff. I was overdoing it, right? But I was also young. Um, and when you're younger and you work out, you're just able to recover faster. So something I've noticed is as I've gotten older, especially in my 30s, I just can't recover as fast as I used to. So now I'm training about 4 to 5 times per week, and most of the time it's about 4 times per week. So something I've learned is rest days are very important. In your 20s, and of course, I didn't know a lot. I was just doing a lot of dumb stuff, which is why I can talk about this stuff now and help some of the younger crowd and people out there. When I was younger, I wasn't really worried about rest days. I didn't think they were really important. I was always, I kind of had that mindset of I need to do more. I need to do more. And as I've gotten older, um, if you've been on a channel for a while, I've had a good amount of injuries and stuff like that. I just know how important it is to rest. And you can actually make good progress when you can learn to take a step back and take those extra rest days. Now I have more of a mindset. If I need a rest day, I'm going to take a rest day. You know, versus in my 20s, it was just push, push, push. If I took an extra rest day, it was, just kind of me being weak or something like that. Some kind of crazy, way of thinking. And also, I just think a little bit more about longevity and some of the things I cared about in my 20s, I don't care about it anymore. So I feel like rest days play a part in that. Not thinking with the push, push, push mindset. Just taking a step back when I need to, and just slowing things down, not going 100 miles per hour. So rest days are very important. All right, that was a lot. I did not want to talk that much for that point, but I did. But moving on to my next point, which is in my 20s, I was focused more on looks, working out for looks. And honestly, I'll be honest with y'all, I kind of obsessed over that, right? To the point it was just toxic. Versus in my 30s, I still care about my looks. I still work out to look a certain way, but it's also more for mainly my mental health, right? And then also just because of health and just, getting my body moving. Um, and I feel like everybody, if you can and you don't have any things that hinder you from working out, you should be working out. You should be moving your body. You should be doing some strength training because it's just important for your health. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people kind of go through, or maybe I'm wrong, and a lot of people don't. But I feel like in those early days, a lot of us are just training for looks, right? But just as you get older, you learn things, you realize things. And just for me, I can only speak for myself. I just realized this is not as important to me as it used to be. I just feel like I got more important things to worry about. I'm not obsessing over how I look. I've even downsized a lot. In the beginning, that was hard for me because I just loved being, a bigger version of myself. And, people who get into working out, especially dudes, you're chasing that mass, right? So downsizing for me in the beginning was pretty hard. You know, Looking at myself in the mirror it was a challenge, right? It wasn't the easiest things, but it wasn't the easiest thing. But over time, that faded, and I just realized that's just not important to me anymore. And also just saying to myself, I'm more than um, my body. I'm more than just how big I am. I'm more than that. I have more to offer. That's not the most important aspect of my life and the most important thing in my life. But anyways, that's a whole nother video. Let's move on to the next point. And I have down that I use less weight and I focus more on form. And this can go for when you just start working out. This is something that is always important, but I do think it is more important, and it is something you really have to focus on moving forward as you get older. You've seen back in the day, I was lifting crazy amounts of weight, at least crazy for me. I know some of y'all may be like, oh, that's not a lot to me, but can only speak for myself. Um, Doing a lot of ego lifting, to be honest, a lot of ego lifting is also another period that a lot of us go through, is that ego lifting. And, it's something I look back and I look at those old videos and I think back, I look at some of my old Instagram posts and stuff and I just cringe. And I'm just like, dude, what the heck was I thinking? I wasn't thinking long term. And that's honestly why I've been hurt a lot, because of ego lifting, trying to progress too fast, not prioritizing form. Form is so important. And like I said, if you're thinking about longevity, which I feel like you should be, a lot of people who lift want to lift when they're older, in their 30s, 40s, 50s. You need to be using strict form, and that should always be at the top of the priority list when lifting. So yeah, these days I'm pretty much, I'm not lifting what I used to lift. And in a lot of lifts, I can go as heavy, right? But I'm thinking to myself, what's the point, right? What's the point? I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. My mindset has shifted. It's those things just don't matter to me. So in a lot of cases, I do lower the weight and I just focus on my form and execution. And you can get some really good results from that. I'm not trying to be as big as I used to be. I'm not trying to build a crazy amount of mass. I'm really in a stage where I'm just trying to maintain, and I'm just trying to be healthy. I'm just trying to feel good, and I'm just trying to, work on my mental health. So prioritize your form. Stop the ego lifting. You're gonna regret it when you get older. If you keep doing that stuff, you're gonna hurt yourself a lot. I haven't been uploading on the channel, so y'all don't know, but I went through periods where I couldn't even really work out because I was hurt, right? And that sucks when working out is a part of your life, your daily routine. But because of stupid choices in, just simple things like, fixing your form, could have prevented that. But, you didn't do that. Your ego lifted and now you're hurt and you can't lift for six months or a year or something like that. All right, moving on to the next point, and this is going to be a long video. We're at 13 minutes right now, but lots I want to talk about. This next point is you need more structure to make progress as you get older, and that's something that I've learned. So I feel like in my 20s, and of course, when you first get into lifting, it's easier to make gains just because it's something that's new to your body. You're usually going to blow up and just gain a crazy amount of muscle fast, right? But when thinking back, I didn't have a whole bunch of structure in my 20s. It was more so just kind of going to the gym and doing whatever. To be honest, just doing a lot of just random stuff. Even as far as my nutrition, I didn't have as much structure I feel like as I have right now, because I could kind of do that, my metabolism was way faster. I was younger. I could just burn fat easier. I wouldn't put on as much fat, and I could just gain muscle, pretty fast. But you notice as you get older, those things don't work how they used to work. You don't gain muscle as fast. If you don't really watch what you eat, you can put on a good amount of fat and things like that. So I feel like as you get older, you really need to be a little bit more tighter on your structure to make progress. Even like these days in my 30s, I feel like my training is the most structured it's ever been, right? I'm really paying attention to, my rest periods, my sets, how I'm feeling too, right? That's a big thing that I pay attention to know if I need to kind of take a step back as far as volume or things like that, or even if I just need to take a rest day, right? I will take that rest day because I feel like I need more time to recover. So that all goes into structure. I even have more structure as far as my nutrition, just paying attention, paying a little bit more attention to what I eat, and just not, I can't just pig out and go crazy because I'm going to get fat pretty much. So structure is important as you get older. Just really pay attention to all these little things if you're trying to make progress. All right, so moving on, and this point is similar to the last thing I talked about, and I put down that progress is slow, and most of y'all probably already know that, but it's just something that I wanted to touch on. So like I kind of said before, in your 20s, and when you first get started in training, you're going to make a bunch of progress, right? But you're also going to hit a point as you get older where you see it really, really starts to slow down. And I feel like, late 20s, early 30s, you just see that you can't make progress as fast as you used to make progress. And this just comes down to, things just change as you get older. Your metabolism slows down. You can't do as much as you used to. As you get older, your body is just going to change. And like I talked about in the previous point, this is why structure and being a little bit tighter on certain things is important, because that progress is going to slow down. So depending on you and your goals and your body goals, you really have to have that structure. But you also have to keep in mind that progress is not going to be as fast as it used to be. All right, so let's get into this last point. Really want to touch on this point a good amount. And I have down right here, I said I enjoy it more. I'm grateful that I can move and exercise. And I truly, truly mean that little statement right there. And I'm not saying in my 20s I didn't enjoy working out. Of course I enjoyed it. I remember just going in the gym and lifting crazy weights. And, during that time I even had training partners and just pushing each other. It was fun, but I feel like as I've gotten older, it's a different type of fun. I'm just more aware of what I'm doing, and I really like take things in. And even something as little as just lifting weights, like I'm really take it in and I really enjoy it, because I know that, even like I mentioned earlier in this video, I had a point to where, or multiple points where I've gotten hurt pretty bad and I couldn't even work out. So I'm just more grateful to be able to move, to be able to work out, and, I'm just able to appreciate it more as I've gotten older. I feel like when you're young, you take things for granted, and it's just a lot that you don't realize until you get older. And it's funny because I used to be scared, which y'all probably think is crazy, but I used to be scared to get older, right? Yeah, true story. I used to be scared to get older, but as I've gotten older, I've grown to embrace getting older, because I feel like I'm becoming smarter. I'm gaining more wisdom. I'm living more in the moment. I just appreciate things more, and I just learn more every single day about the world and about myself. But even if you're young and you're watching this video, appreciate that you're able to work out and do these things, because a lot of people can't work out, right? Some people can barely walk and they can barely get up out of bed. So I'm just grateful that I'm able to still be in this game and do something that I truly love to do. Super long video, guys. Well, maybe not too long, but long for me. But I had a lot to say, and as you can see, I'm back uploading on the channel. It's been a long time. I think I took a break of 4 years from uploading to this channel, but something was just calling me to come back. I feel like I have a lot to share. I want to share these things, and I want to truly help people and take people along my journey, because I feel like I've learned so much. And yeah, I've just learned so much, and it's just so much that I want to share. Even things outside of fitness, like mindset, things I've been through, just a lot that I want to talk about. So you got to stay tuned on the channel. If you're still on this channel, you're still watching the videos, I appreciate you. Thank you for still being here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Lots of content coming out that can help you along your fitness journey. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe for more videos. I will see you on my next video.